व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये. Welcoming all of you to the 60th class. And we are holding class after a long time. Feels like, I think there was a 2-week gap in between. We are coming to the close of the Sahasranamam. We may have a couple of classes to finish 108 shlokas and then a few more classes to wrap up with the Palashruti. And this wonderful text, this grand, great text of Vishnu Sahasranamam, we would be concluding with a Samarop function, which we are about to plan for a date so that we have participation from all of you who have been in this yajna throughout. So we finished with the 97th shloka in the previous class, which covered up to 914th nama. We begin with the 98th shloka in this class. Please repeat once after me. Akrurah peshalo daksho dakshinah kshaminam varaha vidvattamo vitabayaha punyashravana kirtanaha. This 98th shloka contains 8 namas beginning from 915 to 922. 915th nama is Akruraha. Krura means to be cruel. The one who is cruel is called Kruraha. In Mahabharata, often Acharya or Maharishi Vaishampayana refers to Duryodhana as Krura Buddhi, the one with a cruel intention. Bhagavan here is called Akruraha, meaning the one who is not cruel. Bhagavan is not capable of being cruel. That is the fact. He is incapable of being cruel because whether it is cruelty or hatred or fear or anger, which are more often than not a result of insecurity, cannot be there for Bhagavan. Bhagavan does not have insecurity. Therefore, there is no reason for fear or hatred or anger or cruelty. Also, Bhagavan being the cause of this universe and he being the universe itself, this manifold universe, as he is referred to as the Vishwarupa, being all forms in this universe, everything is he himself. Therefore, there is no second thing for him to face a fear or insecurity or cruelty. This will hold true even with respect to his absolute form, where he is the all-pervading consciousness, existence consciousness principle, which is Advitiyaha, where there is no second entity. Now there can be a question here. If there is nothing else other than Bhagavan, then why do I see so many cruelties happening all around? I see, I experience, I hear about a lot of cruelties that are happening around me in the society. So there is, it is required to have clarity on this, with regard to this. Cruelties happen, or people are given to cruelty because of their prarabdha karma. Every act that I do today fructify as punya or punya papa fructifies in the future as favorable or unfavorable circumstances, favorable or unfavorable experiences. And any cruelty that happens to me, this is supposed to be understood subjectively, and we are not supposed to apply this on others. When others are in pain, we are not supposed to apply this knowledge and say, you are suffering because you have papa karma. We are supposed to pray for them, help them if possible, and try to relieve them of some pain. So that is what we should have as human beings. But when it comes to my case, within myself, whatever I experience, any unfairness or any cruelty that I experience, which is not within my control, the knowledge that Shastram gives is this happens because of my past karma. This is a result of my past karma. Because Bhagavan does not have favoritism or partiality towards anybody in this Jagat. He is just and fair. Therefore, whatever I suffer is because of my wrongdoings in the past. Now, how do I put a full stop to this? Lead a life of dharma, so that tomorrow my experiences are taken care of. And one other thing is, Bhagavan as Saguna Ishvara, in his Saguna form or in his Nirguna form. In his Saguna form, he is called Karma Paladata. He is the giver of the fruit of action in this context. Therefore, he is the one who gives the fruit of the Papa Karma of people. And his knowledge is certainly and definitely much more than my knowledge. He is all intellect, and my intellect is a small intellect. Therefore, it will be wrong on my part to judge him based on the sufferings of the others. I cannot judge him with my limited knowledge and vision and perceive him as cruel just because somebody or a group of people are given to suffering. And Bhagavan in his Nirguna Swarupa, as Nirguna Ishvara, being the existence and consciousness principle, is Ekam Advitiyam. It is one Ekam and Advitiyam. There is no second entity. He is non-dual. Therefore, whether in his Saguna form or in his Nirguna form, he is Akruraha. He is free from cruelty. 916th Nama, Peshalaha. Peshalaha means the one who is very handsome, very attractive looking, very gentle, very fascinating in his looks. Every avatar of Bhagavan is indeed very fascinating, very good looking. And all his deeds, his words, his body, his strength, everything are all wonderful. Therefore, he is called Peshalaha. 917 and 918 go together. Dakshaha and Dakshinaha. Dakshaha means the one who is very skillful. Also, he is Shigrakari. He is not only skillful with respect to the quality of his deed, also with respect to the time in which he completes a deed. He is capable of doing things very fast. Therefore, he is, normally when we do things fast, the work loses quality in it. It just becomes another item on the checklist that I tick off for the day. Right? But Bhagavan, the case is different with Bhagavan. Bhagavan can do it so well, and nobody else can perform the deed like him. Either nobody else can do the deed at all, or No one else can do it like him. And he can also do it very, very quickly. Therefore, he is Dakshaha. Dakshinaha means one who is efficient. Now, doesn't these two namas carry the same meaning? Here, in the 918th nama, in the Bhashyam of the 918th nama, Acharya clarifies, he says, Shabda Bedat na punarukti punarutyam na paunarutyam. He says, because there is Shabda Beda, because the two words are different, there is no defect of repetition. There is no punarukti dosha. 919. Kshaminam Varaha. Bhagavan is called Kshami because he accommodates the omissions and commissions, the errors of everybody. It doesn't matter how much you error, Bhagavan will still love and accommodate you. And of all those people, we might have a few people around us who still love us in spite of all our defects and all our wrongdoings, right? So, one such example would be the mother, the father, and the guru. Some may be lucky enough to have a friend like that. Whether one has a friend or not, definitely one has Bhagavan, who is there to embrace you just as you are. And of all those people who accommodates you the way you are, in spite of all your errors, Bhagavan is the greatest. That is why he is called Kshaminam Varaha. 920. Vidvat Tamaha. Vidvat Tamaha means the wisest. Vidwan refers to a wise person, and of all the wise people, the greatest. Tamaha is used. Tama refers to the superlative degree. When you, just like you say good, better, best. So when you say wise, wiser and wisest, the superlative degree is represented by the suffix tamaha. Therefore, Bhagavan, who is both Sarvajnaha and Sarvavit, being all-knowing, he is the wisest of all the people who are wise. 921. Vita Bayaha. Since Bhagavan is the controller of everything, there is nothing that he has got to fear about. Therefore, he is free from fear. Vita Bayaha. He is free from fear. This is with respect to his Saguna form, and from the standpoint of his Nirguna nature, since he is Advitiyam, Ekam Advitiyam, he is non-dual and there is no second entity other than him. There is the question of fear. He is free from fear in that sense also. 922. Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. Shravana means listening about Bhagavan. Listening to stories about Bhagavan. It can refer to Harikatha. It can also refer to listening to Vishnu Sahasranamam class, which is listening to the knowledge of Bhagavan. So listening to Bhagavan in any way is called as Shravana. That activity which you do using the Shrotriya Indriya. Therefore it is called as Shravana, using your ears. The other one that is told here, the other activity is Kirtanaha, singing about Ishvara. If you are blessed with good voice, you can sing. Otherwise, you can sing but not in front of anybody. It could be difficult for the other person. Hearing, everybody can do. Singing, only some people are blessed. So both Shravana and Kirtana, both Shravanam and Kirtanam gives you a lot of punyam. And what punyam results in sukham. Therefore, Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. This Shravana Kirtanaha, on whom, whoever is the subject matter of the Shravana and Kirtana, that gives a lot of, that results in a lot of punya and sukha. He is Bhagavan. Even chanting of Vishnu Sahasranama without understanding the meaning of it will definitely give punya. Studying Vishnu Sahasranama gives punya in abundance because there is a lot of effort and tapas that you have to take, which you have been taking, which many people will not be able to, because that is their maximum span of time, that 20 minutes of chanting. If you call for a chanting session of Vishnu Sahasranama, I am sure we will have, and we have had, more Sankhya. But when you talk about Vishnu Sahasranama class, studying the meaning, this requires more sattva, more attention, more calmness in the mind. One should already have little amount of calmness to sit in the class. And knowing Ishvara will give you absolute calmness. But the compassion of Bhagavan is, even if you chant Vishnu Sahasranama without understanding the meaning, that is enough to give some amount of punya. Still you earn a lot of punya. In the Gita, similarly, there is a Palashruti in Gita, in the last few shlokas of Gita. Bhagavan says, Shraddhavan anasuyascha shrunuyadapi yo naraha so vimukta shubhan lokan prapnuyat punya karmana. He says, the one who understands the meaning of Gita, it is clear that he attains moksha, the Parama Purushartha. But where one who chants Gita, even without understanding the meaning, or even listens to Gita class, whether or not he is able to understand it, he attains the greatest lokas, which are earned by earning a lot of punya by doing great big karmas. So one easily earns great lokas, a ticket to the upper lokas, by just listening to Bhagavad Gita. And we are soon beginning our Bhagavad Gita classes for the Nalanda batch. So that we will come up with the announcement on that very soon. That completes the 98th shloka, 99th shloka. Uttarano dushkritiha punyo dusvapnanashanaha viraha rakshanas santo jivanah paryavastitaha. This 99th shloka contains 9 namas, 923 to 931. 923. Uttaranaha. Uttaranaha means the one who helps me cross over the ocean of samsara. In Gita, Bhagavan says, Tesham aham samuddharta, mrityu samsara sagarat, bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. So, I am the one who helps you cross over the ocean of samsara. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Uttaranaha. 924. Dushkritiha. The one who is the destroyer of all activities of adharma and the wrongdoers, the people who do the adharma, the adharmis, the rakshasas, the asuras. Where Bhagavan is always being dwelt upon, even the asuric tendencies in the mind are knocked out. That is 924, Dushkritiha. 925, Punyaha. Punyaha is occurring for the second time here. We already saw this as the 687th Nama. There we saw Punyaha means Bhagavan, who is the very body of Punya, who is the very Punya itself. Here in 925, he is the one who is the giver of punya as the karma paladata to all those bhaktas who express devotion to him. He bestows them with punyam. Bhaktas express their devotion to Bhagavan in various ways. And in Srimad Bhagavatam narrates 9 types of bhaktis. Navavida Bhakti it is called. Bhagavatam says, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. These are the 9 types of bhaktis. Shravanam, listening to Bhagavan. It can be listening to the stories of Bhagavan or listening to the lecture that teaches the systematic teaching of the Shastra, the subject matter of which is Bhagavan. Therefore, Shravanam is one type of bhakti. The second type of bhakti is Kirtanam. We just saw these 2 types of bhakti, Shravanam and Kirtanam. The second type of bhakti is Smaranam, always thinking of Bhagavan. Prahalada was one such bhakta who always thought of Bhagavan. Always it was Bhagavan, Shri Hari in his Smaranam. That kind of bhakti. Pada Sevanam, worshipping the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Bharata, who was the brother of Shri Rama in Srimad Ramayanam, is known for his Pada Sevanam to Rama. He always remained as the worshipper of Rama Paduka. Then Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. The 5th type is Archanam. Archanam is doing puja, chanting the Ashtotra Shatanamavali and doing puja. Vandanam. Vandanam is staying devoted to Bhagavan always in all deeds. Vibhishana in Ramayana is one such example who stood devoted to Rama, who was the form of Dharma itself. Dasyam, bearing in mind that he is my master and I am his servant, or I perform my deeds as his instrument. This is called Dasya Bhakti. And Hanuman is a wonderful example of Dasya Bhakti. Sakyam. Sakyam is having an attitude that Bhagavan is my friend. Kuchela is one such example of this friend bhakti. Seeing Bhagavan as my friend. And the final 9th type of bhakti is Atma Nivedanam. A beautiful example of Atma Nivedanam, where one does not see duality between oneself and Ishvara. A beautiful example is Andal or Godanachiyar, who never saw a difference between her and Krishna. So, Bhagavan is the giver of the punya to all those who express devotion to him in any ways, in all these various ways. Therefore, he is called Punyaha. 926. Duswapna Nashanaha. He is the destroyer of bad or uncomfortable dreams which causes fear, or even bad uncomfortable thoughts which give fear or anxiety. When Bhagavan is the only person there, where is the question of insecurity? He is not around me. I am always in his lap. There is no place where he is not. Therefore, this thought that Bhagavan is always with me, or rather, I am always with Bhagavan only and I cannot exist without Bhagavan. There is no question of my existence without him. This very thought relieves one of a lot of pressure eases one of a lot of anxiety or even other traumatic emotions in the mind. In fact, Bhagavan is the greatest therapist, we can say. 927. Viraha. Viraha is occurring for the third time. The first time was as the 166th Nama, the second as the 741st Nama. In both those Namas we saw, Viraha means the one who destroys enemies, though there was a subtle difference made for 166 and 741, where he was first referred to as the destroyer of the external enemies, the Asuras, the Rakshasas, and all the wrongdoers, and then he was referred to as the destroyer of the enemies inside. All the Asuric and the wrong tendencies, the Rajasic, Tamasic tendencies I bear in my mind. Here in 927, Viraha means the destroyer of various courses of samsara, the various gatis of samsara. Bhagavad Pada says, Vividaha, Iraha. Iraha means the courses or the gati. Samsarinam gatihi mukti pradhanena hantiti viraha. Bhagavan, through knowledge, he destroys all the karmas which lead to various gatis. What about moksha? Moksha is agati, because any gati you attain, it means you attain some loka, either upper or bhu or the lower lokas. Therefore, you are back into the cycle of birth and death. Bhagavan is the one who frees you from this cycle of birth and death by giving you the knowledge and bestowing you with moksha. For the ones who have fixed their mind in his Swarupa. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, Jnanagni dagda karmanam. Through this knowledge, it destroys the karma of the person, and because of which, where the karma is destroyed, there is no question of rebirth. Therefore, Bhagavan is Viraha, where he destroys the gati of samsara. 928. Rakshanaha, the one who protects. 929. Santaha, the one who is in the form of all saints. People who are in Sanmarga, in the path of Dharma, are called Santaha. And whoever have both Vidya and Vinaya. Vidya should result in Vinaya. Without Vinaya, Vidya is not complete. Vinaya means humility. Where there is knowledge, there has to be humility. Because where there is knowledge, there has to be maturity. And humility is the way the maturity expresses. Therefore, knowledge, if received in the right way, it should result in maturity or Vinaya. Otherwise, it will only result in arrogance and vanity. Then what is the use of knowledge? 930. Jivanaha, the one who sustains life through prana. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Jivanaha. 931. Paryavastitaha. 931 and 932 are connected. We will see 932 after chanting the 100th shloka. Paryavastitaha means the one who stands pervading this entire jagat. Antarbahishcha tat sarvam vyapya narayanastitaha. The battery is running low. 100th shloka, please chant once after me. Anantarupo nantashrihi jitamanyurbayapaha Chaturashro Gabiratma Vidisho Vyadisho Dishaha 932, which is connected with 931, Paryavastitaha, the all-pervading. 932 is Anantarupaha, the one who is in countless forms, the one who is of countless forms. Acharya says, Anantani Rupani Asya Vishwa Prapancha Rupena Stitasyeti Anantarupaha. The one who remains, or the one who expresses him as various forms, in countless forms. Paryavastitaha is explained through this nama, Anantarupaha, where we say Bhagavan is all-pervading. How is he all-pervading? He manifests as many forms, in countless forms. Therefore, Bhagavan is said to be all-pervading. If you find a gap between one form and the other, there is no gap. In fact, the gap, the very Akasha, is his manifestation. Therefore, he is Anantarupaha. 933. Ananta Shrihi. We have already seen that the definition of Bhaga includes one quality, which is Shri, which means power or resources or prosperity. And Bhagavan is the one who possesses this Bhaga in full measure. That is what we have seen. So the one who is of limitless power, limitless resources, that is Ananta Shrihi. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Ananta Shrihi. 934. Jitamanyuhu. The one who has mastery over anger. Manyuhu is slightly different from Krodha. Krodha is anger. Manyuhu is various stages of anger. You know, anger first happens as a thought, and then it is fanned, it becomes a series of thought. Then initially it remains within your mind, and then it gets expressed through your words. And the words gain intensity, and then it is physicalized. Either you shiver, or you tremble, or for some people, they start hitting the other person. You get very harsh, you get violent. All violent actions are expressed. So these are various stages of anger. And Bhagavan is a conqueror of this Manyuhu, various stages of anger. Therefore, he is called Jitamanyuhu. 935. Bhayapahaha, the destroyer of fear. Bhaya apahaha. What type of fear? Bhagavad Pada says, Bhayam samsarajam pumsam apagnan bhayapahaha. The fear that is born of samsara. The samsara born fear is overcome through knowledge of Ishvara. Therefore, he is called Bhayapahaha. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Dvitiyat vai bhayam bhavati, where your knowledge is in Dvaita. As long as you perceive duality, perceive meaning you understand that you have or you keep duality to be the reality, then there will be fear. And what destroys fear is the knowledge of the oneness of Jivatma and Paramatma. That there is no second entity, and this knowledge is given by Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. 936. Chaturashraha. Chaturashraha literally means the one that has 4 uniform corners. That is called Chaturashraha. This term, however, is popularly used to indicate anything that is uniform or orderly or just. Here, it is to be taken in the intended meaning. the implied meaning. Therefore, it refers to Bhagavan who is not partial or not sadistic. He is of infallible nature and he is just in all his deeds. Therefore, he is called Chaturashraha. 937. Gabhiratma. In the previous class, we saw a nama where we said it is difficult to understand. Shabdadikaha. He is not graspable through words. Therefore, Bhagavan is difficult to be communicated. The Swarupa of Bhagavan is difficult to be communicated, difficult to be understood. In Kathopanishad, Yamadharma Raja says, Ascharyo Vakta Kushalascha Jnata. He says the one who teaches this is an Ascharyam, is a wonder. And the one who listens to these classes is a wonder. Because you don't find people coming and sitting in the classes. And it is a wonder that people come having interest in listening to Bhagavan's Swarupa. And if one understands Bhagavan's Swarupa, that is wonder oh wonder. Because it is so rare that one gets to understand this. There's a lot of punyam that is required, a lot of effort that is required, a lot of tapas one has to take to. And what is more Ascharyam is that even after communicating so clearly, it remains ununderstood for many. So he says, that is also Ascharyam. Yamadharma Raja says this. So, Bhagavan is Gabhiratma, meaning his Swarupa is very, very difficult to understand because it is not directly describable through words. You cannot say this is what it is, this is how he is, this is why he is, or only this much he is. You cannot define him like that at all. Therefore, he is Gabhiratma. 938. Vidishaha. Vidishaha means the giver of all kinds of fruits of action. 939. Vyadishaha. The one who gives the mandate to Indra Devata and all other Devatas. Acharya says, Vividam Agnyam Shakradinam Kurvan Vyadishaha. Indra Devata is called Shakra. There is another name for him. Shakra means the one who is capable of doing any deed. He is in fact the strongest of all the Devatas. Therefore, he is called Shakraha. And here Acharya says, Shakradinam Vividam Agnyam Kurvan Vyadishaha. He is the one who mandates what to do to all the Devatas. And every Devata represent every natural force in this universe. Every phenomenon in this universe is represented by a Devata. And Bhagavan giving the mandate for him is called Vyadishaha. 940. Dishaha. Bhagavan, who is in the form of the Veda itself, gives the knowledge of the Veda about what is right and what is wrong, what is to be done and what is to be avoided. He gives the means and the ends and the benefit of the end. He gives it completely. He shows the path as to what is good for you and what is not good for you and therefore to be rejected by you. Therefore, he is called Dishaha, the one who helps you or directs you with the knowledge. That completes the 100th shloka. We move on to the 101st shloka. Anadir Bhurbhuvo Lakshmihi Suviro Ruchirangadaha Janano Jana Janmadihi Bhimo Bhima Parakramaha. We have another 9 namas in this 101st shloka beginning from 941 to 949. 941. Most of the namas, I'm just running through many namas because most of them we have already seen the meaning, and I don't think we need to spend more time in explaining those namas. For example, 941, Anadihi. Anadihi means the one without Adi, the one who is beginningless. And why is he called beginningless? Because Acharya is very meticulous in documenting it. He says, Adihi karanam asya na vidyate iti anadihi. Because he is causeless. Therefore, he is beginningless. And why is he causeless? Acharya says, sarvakaranatvat. Because he is the cause of everything. He is the ultimate cause. He is the causeless cause. Therefore, because he doesn't have a cause for himself, he is beginningless. Literally means self-existent. 942. Bhur-bhuvaha. Now, Bhur-bhuvaha, Bhuhu means Adharaha. And earth is supposed to be, earth is called Bhuhu because earth supports everything. Everything is supported by this earth, this planet earth. And since it is the Adhara for everything that it supports, it is called Bhuhu. And this Bhumi, this is called Bhuvaraloka. How is this earth supported? Now you visualize the earth as a planet in the space. It is suspended in the space. Right? Where is the support for earth? Who is supporting this earth? It is the gravity of every planet. Science says it is because of the gravitational force of every planet that every planet is held to its orbit. Right? Now, who is this power behind holding this planet into its orbit, into its place? It is Bhagavan. Though earth supports all, who is the one who is supporting the earth? It is Bhagavan who is the support of the earth. Therefore, he is Bhur-bhuvaha, the support of the earth. The Adhara for that which is the Adhara for everything. Therefore, as the supporter of the earth, Bhagavan is called Bhur-bhuvaha. Bhuvaha api bhuhu. That's what Acharya says. 943. Lakshmi. It's very beautiful, this 942 is linked with 943, and Acharya gives the meaning in three ways. You can perceive the 943rd Nama in three different ways. You can take Bhagavan as Lakshmihi, meaning he is in the very form of Lakshmi, who is none other than the Shakti of Bhagavan himself. There is no Narayana without Lakshmi, and Lakshmi has got no separate existence without Narayana. Lakshmi is the Maya Shakti of Bhagavan. Therefore, Bhagavan is the Shaktiman, and there can be no Shakti that can independently exist without the Shaktiman. For example, your hearing power or your seeing power, your walking power, your lifting power cannot exist independent of you, who is the Shaktiman. Similarly, Lakshmi, who is the Shakti of Bhagavan, cannot exist independent of Bhagavan. The Maya, the Jagan Maya, represented by Devi Lakshmi, she is the beauty of this Jagat, she is the fame, all the glories of this Jagat, she is the effulgence of this Jagat, she is the wealth, she is the resources, she is the fullness of everything. And such a Shakti is never away from Bhagavan. And therefore she is nothing but Bhagavan himself. Therefore Bhagavan is called Lakshmihi. This is the first way of looking at this Nama. The second way is connecting. The second and third ways are by connecting this 943 with 942, Bhur-bhuvaha. So the second way of looking is Bhuva Lakshmihi. Bhuvalakshmihi means not only that he is the supporter of the earth as Bhurbhuvaha, but he is also the earth itself. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Bhuvalakshmihi. And the third way of looking at this nama is Bhurbhuvalakshmihi, the one who lights up this earth, this Bhuvaraloka, and the Antariksha, the Svargalokas, the skies and the upper heavens. He is the one who lights them up and who is also in the form of those lokas. Therefore, Bhagavan can be referred to as Bhurbhuva Lakshmihi also. 944. Suviraha. For Suviraha, Acharya gives two meanings here. The one whose movements are in many ways. Acharya says, Shobanaha, Vividaha, Iraha. Iraha means Gati. So, Gatayaha, Yasyasaha, Suviraha. The one who has, or we can say that as different aspects of this Jagat, his movements are varied and many. In that way, he is called Suviraha. Suviraha. And the second way of looking at this nama is because he manifests in different ways, in infinite ways, in countless ways, which are very, very beautiful and wondrous. Therefore, he is called Suviraha. Acharya says, Shobanam Vividam Irte Itiva Suviraha. Now, Irte means the one who manifests. And for those who are interested a little bit in Sanskrit grammar, Irte is Atmanepada, meaning there is no will, there is no deliberation involved in this act of manifestation. Just like how rainbow manifests in the presence of sunlight, there is no will of the sunlight to manifest as the Vibgyor colors. In a similar way, Bhagavan, by his mere presence, he manifests as various forms in infinite ways without the will, without any deliberation. Therefore, Bhagavan manifesting, he arises, he moves, he manifests in many ways without any deliberate action involved by him because of his mere presence. And that is why he is called Suviraha. 946 and 947 are connected. 946, Jananaha means the creator. 947, Jana Janmadihi. He is the creator because he is Jana Janmadihi. He is the cause of all that is born. That is why he is Jananaha, the creator. 948, Bhimaha. Now, Bhimaha already we saw as the 357th Nama. In 357, we saw Bhimaha, or 357 can be seen in both ways we saw, as Bhimaha or as Abhimaha. We saw that the grammar allows both Namas. So, as Bhimaha, he is the cause of fear. As Abhimaha, he is the cause of no fear. And where we saw how is he a cause of fear? With respect to all the devatas who are in fear of transgressing his order. Therefore, they fulfill all his mandates. They don't transgress his order. Therefore, he is called Bhimaha. And Abhimaha, where he is the cause of no fear. How? Through the knowledge of Ishvara. Knowing whom one gains fearlessness, one gains abhaya. This is what we saw in 357. Now here again the nama is coming, Bhimaha. Here Bhagavan is again Shankara refers to Bhagavan as the cause of fear, not with respect to devatas, but with respect to all other beings. Bhaya hetutvat Bhimaha. So there is nobody no jiva who can escape results of his actions. In the relative form of Dharma Swarupa, Bhagavan is the cause of fear. And in his absolute form, he removes the fear of samsara. Therefore, he is both Bhimaha and Abhimaha. 949. Bhima Parakramaha, the one of immense strength. In all his avatars, he has demonstrated his immense strength towards eliminating, putting an end to all the asuras, the rakshasas, and all the adharmis. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Bhima Parakramaha. That completes 949th Nama and 101st Shloka. So we will take up from the 102nd Shloka in the next class. So we'll conclude this class here. Oh, I missed one Nama, is it? 9? 915 is missed. 945. Ruchirangataha means the one who has beautiful arms or beautiful angas. This is a nama used for upasana purposes. Ruchira angadaha. Ruchirangadaha. So that completes all the namas. I don't know why I'm missing out one nama or the other in some classes, but it's good that you pointed it out here itself. So we'll catch up from the 102nd shloka in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. I thought I would finish up with 102 as well, but we are running out of time. So hopefully we should finish this in the next class or in the next two classes. So we will catch up with the next class next week. Next week being Mahashivratri here. Sunday night we have Mahashivratri Utsavam in this place, in this classroom. My only question is whether can we advance next week class to Sunday morning India time instead of Monday morning India time, which would be Saturday evening okay for all of you, for all the 14 of you online? Yes. Okay, then we will have same time, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. India time, but Sunday morning instead of Monday morning, because we will stay awake till the third jama here and holding the class on fourth jama. I'm apprehensive whether I will have audience and a stable streaming team. Okay, 6:30 there. Yeah. So we are commencing the 12th Upanishad for the Kashi batch, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad at 6:30 a.m. in the morning, which is in another classroom in Vismambalam. So we will complete Vishnu Sahasranamam from 5 to 6 here, and I will move on for Brihadaranyaka Upanishad class at 6:30. Hari Om.